for you today. Your saltwater guide, always happy to see you. I hope you all had a phenomenal weekend. Thanks for joining us today, and thanks for all that you all do for Kelly Girl and I. We appreciate it. Marley and Finn and Dolly all appreciate all the kindness and all the stars and just everything you all do for us. I want to thank you all very, very much for everything you do. It's been a phenomenal time hanging out with everybody. So thank you all very, very much. And we're ready to get this show started. So welcome everybody. Welcome. Did everybody see the show Friday? How unbelievable is Peter's life been? That guy's seen so much cool stuff, been all over the world. There's nobody I can think of that deserves that Tommy Gifford IGFA Hall of Fame Captain Award like Pete does. That, my goodness. And what a kind human. Always there to share, always there to help everybody. I've never seen him turn anybody down. He's always there to help. If someone's smart enough to ask for Peter's help, he's always been there for all of us. He's a very, very kind human being. And today we're going to talk about how important the little things are and how important the little things will change what you catch when you go fishing. And I don't care where you go fishing. If you go up to the Sierras and go trout fishing, if you go offshore and go bluefin fishing, if you go halibut fishing, every single little tiny thing matters. And it's super important to understand that. If you want to be successful in your day of fishing or taking your friends or your kids or your children or your spouses fishing, it is super important to understand that every little thing matters. And this came to my attention a lot when I was talking to Peter before we went live on Friday about how important the little things are for the success of a fishing trip. From maintenance to your boat, to making sure you're totally prepared with the right hooks, the right piece of fluorocarbon, the right monkey. There he is, little Marty man. That's our marmoset monkey. Those of you that have never seen the show before, we do this podcast Monday through Fridays at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And yes, that is a monkey. He's a pygmy marmoset monkey. He's super cool. His name's Marley. And we rescued him from a family. And he lives in our house now. Well, actually, he has his very own room. That's where I do my show from every day. And Marley's living his best life. And his two best friends are two rescued cats, Finn and Dahlia. Then we have a whole family of cats that live outside, gang. So if you're thinking about giving us some tips on YouTube or some stars over on Facebook, understand that everything that you give goes to food and lodging for these animals, all these rescue animals we have. Like Justin always says, if it wasn't for us, Kelly and I don't think Marley would still be around. This type of monkey lives for 15 years, so he's very blessed to be a part of our family, and we really love Marley. That's his little house up there on the top. He spends most of his days in when he's not eating or playing. But back to what we were talking about, how important it is to make sure that you are totally prepared and every little thing matters. And I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. We have a phenomenal website, yoursaltwaterguide.com, with over 500 instructional videos on it that will help you to get better at fishing. And I don't care if you're an expert or if you're a beginner, there is stuff we don't all know. There's no way we know everything. I've been learning my whole life, and hopefully those of you that are fishing, you guys are open to learning, because it's super important to know how to roll with the changes. But one thing I can promise you is if you're a member of our website and you're following our game plans that I put out every Thursday at 3:30 in the afternoon, or between 3:30 and 4:30, if you follow those game plans and you go and you do exactly what we're talking about on the game plans, and you fish exactly the way that I talk about fishing, with a sliding sinker and a hook and the weight appropriate to the depth of water. And if you do all the things that we talk about right down to the size of the hook, the weight of the line, the size of the sinker, the position that you put your bait in when you're throwing your bait out or your lure. Every single thing matters to get to the point where, hold on one second. Hey, son, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Yep, that's my son. He's down in San Diego on a training mission. I love you, son. I'm hoping you're having a good first day at your class.
You're on your show. Sorry.
I'm doing my show live right now. I'll call you up in a little bit. What time's your break over?
1:20.
Okay, I'll call you back. Love you.
Love you.
Bye. That's my son. He's down in San Diego doing some training. He's going to start selling real estate up there in beautiful Tahoe. So, gang, back to what we were talking about, how important it is to understand that every single thing matters, gang. If you approach, we're just going to use, for example, what's going on with halibut right now. Halibut fishing is really, really good right now at the islands. It's very, very good. You don't have to go all the way to the Channel Islands. You don't have to go all the way to San Clemente Island. Halibut fishing is really good at Catalina right now. And there's a handful of our members that followed our plan and fished the way I tell you to fish. And they were rewarded with some phenomenal halibut fishing this weekend. One of our good members, one of our longtime members, Jason was at Catalina yesterday. 2 legal halibut and full limits of lobsters, fishing exactly where I told him to fish for halibut and exactly where I told him to fish for lobsters, and doing it exactly the Your Saltwater Guide way. And he was rewarded with halibut and limits of lobsters. It's not that hard, gang. Where it starts to get really hard is most of us, our ego won't allow us to submit to doing something the totally 100% the right way. And that's where it becomes difficult to catch. Fishing is not that hard. Fish are not that smart. They're not. People will sell you all kinds of stuff, making you think you got to have this stuff in order to catch a fish. You don't. I teach people how to do it the least expensive way possible. Bag of hooks, handful of sliding sinkers, and some Opsin fluorocarbon. You got to have some fluorocarbon. And today is Opsin USA Monday. We always talk about Opsin fluorocarbons on Mondays. Today is no different. Today is Opsin USA Monday. So we talk about Opsin. There you go. We got quite a few different kinds of Opsin. Look at that, making the heavy Opsin now. He's also making the super light Opsin for trout fishing. He's got a nice little video up of Greg fishing up there in the Sierras for trout. There's so many different sizes, whatever you're looking for to accomplish, but you got to have some Opsin fluorocarbon tied to the end of your line. If you're halibut fishing, whatever you're fishing for, at the end of the day, you got to have some Opsin, gang. It's super important. You got to have a little piece of Opsin fluorocarbon between your braided line and your hook. And I just wanted you to see that, how important it is. And then the really cool thing about Opsin, gang, is Greg came up with this design. They're magnetized. So the spools stick together. They're magnetized. There's a bitchin' fluorocarbon. Also, it's clear. I tell you all the time, when you're fishing, the most important thing is making sure that the fish can't see your leader line. That's why I use Opsin, because it's clear. I use Opsin all the time. I never fish without it. It's always between my braided line and my hook. So if you want to get some of this, Greg's got a great deal right now. I'm going to throw the QR code up on the screen. You're going to save 20% on your Opsin fluorocarbon. 20% by using that QR code to order it. And then if you're just listening as you're driving around, put in the code YSWG and you'll save 10% or 20%. You don't have to use the QR code, but those of you that can use the QR code, there it is. And remember, the first of every month, we give away a free gift package from Opsin. Greg will mail it out to you. And we weren't able to give that away on Friday because I got so excited talking to Pete Grosbeck, and the stories went on and on and on. And he has so many great stories that I didn't stop and give away the free spool or the gift package that Greg's going to put together. I don't know if it's 1 spool, 3 spools, what it is, but he's going to mail it to you. One lucky person is going to win that. And this month, all you got to do to win is to go enter the website and put in the code YSWG or use the QR code. That'll enter you in to win the free package. And the winner this month is Doug Dorsey. Doug Dorsey entered several times during the month of November. He was on there several times looking at the Opsin fluorocarbon. So, Doug, we're going to get this gift package mailed out to you. And then we have one other gift package to give away a little bit later in the show. If I don't forget, if I don't get too wound up and too excited, we're going to give away that Promar package. But don't forget, grab that QR code. Go back and watch the show afterwards. Grab the QR code and save yourself some money on some fluorocarbon, gang. And then that'll enter you in. You don't even have to purchase. No purchase necessary. Just grab that QR code and enter the store. I don't think Doug bought anything. If I look back on the file, he didn't buy anything, but he was in there like 4 different times last month. And that's whose name we picked out of the hat. So Doug Dorsey, congratulations on your Opsin fluorocarbon. And everybody go check out Opsin USA and grab that QR code and check it out. And then maybe I'll be announcing your name on New Year's Day. So back to what we were talking about, gang. What I want you to understand is every single thing matters, right down to the little tiny things. Like a lot of people, and I talk to them all the time, go, yeah, Captain Dave, I just didn't have time today to anchor. I'm like, why'd you go fishing? If you don't have time to do everything perfect, then why go? My spots, not my spots, the spots on the website, yoursaltwaterguide.com, are designed to be fished the way I tell you how to fish them. Now, on my website, yoursaltwaterguide.com, we have over 1,300 spots. Now, if all you want is spots, you can go down to West Marine tomorrow morning and buy a laminated chart with all the GPS numbers in it. But like I tell all my members, GPS numbers are worthless if you don't know what to do with them when you get there. So what I've done is I've taken the 1,300 spots that are on my website, yoursaltwaterguide.com, and I broke each and every one down. I give you all the GPS numbers. There's video where you can just read the GPS numbers, copy them, paste them, do whatever you want with them. We got that part covered. But then we go a step further and we break down each and every individual spot and tell you exactly how to fish it. If it's an uphill current, you anchor up at Long Point. If it's a downhill current, you anchor up at Gallagher's. If it's a downhill current, you anchor at Orange Rocks. If it's a downhill current, you anchor up at White Rock. We go through, and then I tell you what to do when you're there. You got a chum, you got a fly line. When you're fly lining, gang, the moment you put a swivel or a bead or a sinker on, you're no longer fly lining. And I know your brother, sister's aunt's cousin told you that you were fly lining when you had that swivel on there, but you're not. Every time you put something else on your line besides the hook and the fluorocarbon, you're adding weight. And therefore, the bait isn't going to swim naturally. If the bait doesn't swim naturally, there's a very, very, very good chance you're not going to get a bite. I was reading a guy's report a couple days ago on the website in the community section, and he was telling people that he went to Orange Rocks and he didn't catch anything. I ended up calling him up, and I'm like, hey, I'm not going to throw your name out there, but I'm like, hey, when you were at Orange Rocks, what were you doing? He said, I was using a 4-ounce torpedo sinker dropper loop, and we were casting it out as far as we could. I was like, hold on a second. What did you just say? You were using a dropper loop and you were casting it? Though, think about this, gang. It's called a dropper loop because it's meant to be dropped down. It's not a caster loop. If you're going to cast your bait out, you should be using and you want to use weight. Let's say you're using a squid, live squid. You have to use a little tiny bit of weight to get that squid down because it's not like a sardine or a mackerel or an anchovy where it could swim down to get away from the birds. When you cast that squid out, he's going to hit the surface with no weight on him. He's just going to lay there and the birds are going to eat him. I would love to fly line a squid, but the thing is that squid, when he hits the water, he goes slap on the water. He's like in shock and he doesn't move. All it takes is him to lay there for a split second and you're going to get a bird bite. Well, you don't want a bird bite. So I tell everybody, put on 1/8 or 1/4 of an ounce of weight. I don't tell them to take a 4-ounce torpedo sinker and tie a dropper loop and then cast it out there. No. When we're going to cast our bait, we're going to use a small sliding sinker. But all these things, and I'm not going to tell you everything because that's not fair to our 4,100 plus members that are paying to be on the website and learn all the right ways to do this. But every single thing matters. I cannot emphasize this enough. Gang, this fishing thing is not that hard. When it gets to be hard is when you go to a tackle store and you talk to someone behind the counter that's never fished the spot you're going to go to, and he starts to tell you how you're supposed to fish that spot. Gang, I made a website with 580 informational videos to teach you how to fish all those spots the correct way. And you don't want to go and get that information from a tackle. Now, I know there's great tackle stores out there, but they don't know. They don't know how to fish the spots I'm sending you to. They're not looking at the game plan. I mean, I wish they all did. They would sell an epic amount of tackle. Gang, if you have a tackle store, this is the funniest thing I've reached out to 2 already. I'm like, we got 4,100 members that are buying tackle. Do you want to be a part of the website where you can sell the tackle to the people that are going fishing so that they can be successful and you can be successful? Because I think if you have a tackle store, you're trying to sell tackle. I don't know. Everybody, unfortunately, this industry is so dinosauric and living in the dinosaur age. I tell them, gang, I have a podcast that thousands of people watch every day. You should have your tackle on the podcast. Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, good luck. But if one of you out there watching the show, you got a tackle store and you want to make a bunch of money, I'm right here we get 30 million views a month. If you want to sell some tackle, you might want to be a part of your saltwater guide. I'm not going anywhere. I guarantee you my numbers are going to be better next year than they are this year. And they're pretty damn good this year. If you look right now, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube have just lifted. They had this weird thing like on us that was like a shadow ban. Well, they lifted that up 2 days ago. We're flying. We had 1,200 subscribers yesterday on YouTube alone. It's mind-boggling what's going on right now. Go look at my Instagram page and look at right now we have 50, what did it say? 52,300. No, 50. I'm sorry. Just give me 1 second. Let me jump back on there. 52,500 subscribers right now on my Instagram page. Watch what happens tomorrow. Just look at it and then watch. Or go to YouTube. You're on YouTube. Watch me right now. Watch the subscriber numbers. They're flying. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything's flying right now. It's just smoldering. It's going so fast. It's mind-boggling. I can't keep up. I'm getting 10,000 comments a week right now. I can't keep up. It's impossible. But all I'm trying to let you know is that if you own a tackle store and you want to sell some tackle, you may want to get involved. It's up to you. I don't care. You can stay broke as much as you want. It's up to you. But we have a huge audience that's dying to buy your tackle. So let me know. But back to what we were saying. I'm sorry, I got off on a little tangent there because I just think it's so funny that we have to try to beg people to sell their products. It doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. So, gang, every single thing matters. So if I tell you on the game plan that you need to go to Orange Rocks and you need to either fly line your anchovies or fly line your sardines or fly line your mackerel, then you need to do that. You don't need to get there and go, well, Dave said they're biting every bait if I fly line. I want to put on an 8-ounce torpedo sinker and cast it out as far as I can. That way I make sure I don't catch anything. And then I can call Dave and say, I didn't catch anything. And I went right where you told me to. You can go right where I tell you to. But if you're not doing every single thing right, then you're not going to be successful. It's just like fishing the spots. When I was up there, and I get excited about fishing. I apologize for that, but my passion's fishing and my passion's teaching fishing. When I was up at Dana Point a week and a half ago with my grandson, I fished right in front of Dana Point Harbor on the pipe. The depths available on the website, but it was every bait. You can go watch the video we released this morning of the nice 3-pound, 4-pound calico I caught on fly line sardine and on the pipe. I mean, it's not a secret spot. It's right in front of the harbor, but it was fly line. We had a trickle of downhill current. We were anchored on our 22-foot well craft. We don't have an anchor winch. I'll pull the thing 10 times by hand because I want to make sure I'm on the spot proper. That's one of the 900 million things that matter. If you approach this fishing thing in a lazily way, I didn't have time to anchor today. I already had my 8-ounce torpedo tied on. I didn't feel like re-rigging. If that's how you approach this fishing thing, then you're not going to be successful. You have to roll with what's going on out there. A lot of times I see people rigging up their bait rods before we get to the bait barge. That is ridiculous to put a hook on when you don't even know what the bait looks like or what size it is. You go pulling up to the bait barge and you put on a 4/0 thin wire hook and all they have is anchovies at the bait barge, then you're going to have to cut that off and you're going to put on a number 2 or a number 4 hook. But if you don't have those hooks in your arsenal, then you're not going to be able to catch anything because you're going to be running this 4/0 hook into an anchovy. It's going to look like you put a gaff in him. And then you're going to throw him in the water. He can't swim that 4/0 hook around. It's too big. It's like tying 5 pounds of weight to your belt buckle and then running around with it. In a few minutes, you're going to get tired. Same thing with that poor little fish. He can't drag that big giant hook around. That's why it's imperative to make sure you listen to the game plan and then be ready to execute the game plan. On our game plans, we tell you exactly what they have at the bait barge too. Or if they don't even have a bait barge like Newport right now, we explain to you why they don't have a bait barge. You know the reason why there's no bait barge in Newport Harbor this time of year? The people that are controlling that noise from the jet, they're the ones that are also controlling keeping the bait barge in the water. So the bait barge has to leave Newport Harbor right around the middle of October because the big storms come and the big south swell will push that bait barge right into the harbor. Yeah, let's show them some numbers. You guys won't even believe what's going on. You won't even believe what is going on right now, gang. Well, like I was trying to tell you a few minutes ago, and Elliot just joined me, which is going to be pretty spectacular. If you look at what's going on right now with your saltwater guide, gang, if you own a business that sells fishing tackle, I would think you'd want to get involved. I'm not going anywhere, gang. I'm going to do this show tomorrow, and I'm going to do it the next day, and I'm going to do it the next day. My numbers are skyrocketing right now, like faster than anything you can imagine. We're already at 600,000 followers, gang. Can you imagine if you sold a hook to every one of those people? You'd have a pretty good year. You'd have a pretty good year. Yeah, look at this for Instagram, the last 20. Look at this. This is Instagram, the last 28 days. How would you love to be getting those numbers? Let me tell you something. If you were to go out and buy ad ad space and ask if you could get in front of 1.9 million people with your hook? Do you know how much that would cost? I do. It would cost you $50,000 for the week to get in front of 1.9 million people. Could you imagine? You could do that on our show, gang. It's crazy. Now we're going to show you what's going on YouTube. It's going to blow your mind. Look at this. This is YouTube right now. We're not making this up. This is what's going on right now on your Saltwater Guides YouTube channel, gang. These numbers are mind-boggling to me, and they got to be mind-boggling to you. If you pay attention to anything nowadays, it's all about social media. If you have a product you're trying to get in front of people, your Saltwater Guide is the place, gang. We are not going anywhere, and we're not slowing down. Look at, what's that? 18 million views. Woo! That's pretty spectacular if you ask me. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. We're up 43% from last year. Do you think my numbers will be up next year or down? I don't know. My stuff's pretty good. And it's crazy. And then look at this. Here comes Facebook. And then we're going to get back into talking about what we were just talking about. Look at those numbers. 84.7 million views. Oh my. It's pretty funny, right? That's me. That's your Saltwater Guide. That's where you could sell your hooks or your shirt or your hat or your vest or whatever you have related to fishing. That's a pretty spectacular set of numbers from 3 social media platforms. Remember, Facebook's is the largest social media platform in the world. People are watching us. They're watching us on every platform. They're really watching us on Facebook. All right, gang. So I just want you to understand what's going on out there. We're not going anywhere. I would love for more of you to be involved. Elliot and I have made some really, really big moves into the opportunity for all of you to advertise on our social media, to collaborate with us, to move forward. Your Saltwater Guide's not going anywhere. I have over 3,000 videos in rotation right now. Yeah, 3,000. Go look. We're not making this up. This Luvar video, this thing has over, if you take all 5 of them combined, they have well over 1 million views on each social media platform. It's crazy. And they've only been up for a day and a half. This stuff's mind-boggling what's going on right now, gang, on your Saltwater Guide. I can't make up these numbers. They're all real. You can all go and look. You can look at YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can see all the numbers. The numbers are real, real, real. And I just think it's a great opportunity for some of you. I'd love to team up with some of you that are, if you guys have some hooks. My hook sponsor left me a couple of years ago, and they're going to be really bummed right now, but I'd love to help you sell your hooks. I'd love to help you sell whatever you got. If it works, we'll help you sell it. If it's garbage, we won't. But I'm just letting you all know the numbers don't lie. They are real, real, real. This sea lion thing, Elliot put it up yesterday afternoon. The thing's going absolutely bonkers. It's going crazy. And gang, we can't do anything to the sea lions. It's against the law. You can't harass them in any way, shape, or form. So all of you that are leaving all these different comments about how to take care of the sea lions and that they're a big, gentle animal and they won't hurt you. Gang, they're eating people. They are. It is what it is, gang. They're attacking human beings. They're attacking dogs. They're attacking people. And it's not going to go away. So when you say, oh, just walk down the dock and stomp your feet, they jump right up and want to bite my leg off. Those sea lions aren't going anywhere, gang. I just wanted to show you all the numbers because I just didn't think you guys would quite understand if you didn't actually visualize them. Those are incredible numbers for anybody in social media. I don't care if you're Kim Kardashian. Those are incredible numbers, and that's what we're getting at your Saltwater Guide. So give me a call. Let me know if you want to do anything with us, if you want to be a part of it, or next year you can go, oh man, I should have got involved. I should have got involved. Next year, I promise you, our numbers will be better. They're not going to be worse. We have tons of content. We put out 3 brand new videos every single day. Every single day Elliot and I put out 3 brand new videos, Your Saltwater Guide. It's pretty incredible. And then I do this podcast Monday through Friday. We have room available on the podcast. If you want us to help you sell your product here, let me know. If you want to collaborate with us, whatever level you want to get in with us, but we're not going anywhere, gang. And look around. Look around when you get done with this show today. Look around. Here's what you're going to see everybody doing. I don't care if they're old, young, whatever. Everybody on the planet does this now. Stares at their phone, walks into lampposts, walks into stop signs, walks into traffic. They're staring at their phone. How cool would it be if they were looking at your product on Your Saltwater Guide videos? That would be pretty spectacular, gang. Talk to all your friends. I guarantee you everybody's watching us, even the people that don't like us. It's getting to the point now where even the haters are going, well, what's going on? This guy's got the best captains on the planet on his show. He's got the best charter boats on the planet on his show. He's got the industries on his show. The manufacturers are on his show. It's time, gang. Whether you hate me or you love me, we're not going anywhere. And we're just getting more and more views. It's just absolutely ridiculous, I'm telling you. And then to have a website where you could actually show your products on. You talk to Deckhand Sports, talk to Dave, or talk to Justin, or talk to Pablo, or talk to Promar, or talk to Opsin, or talk to Larry at Pacific Sportfishing Alliance, or talk to Akuma. Any one of these people will tell you the power of Your Saltwater Guide is mind-boggling, and we're not going anywhere. But let's get back to what we were talking about how every single thing matters. Before we started to show you all the numbers, we were talking about how important it is not only to have spots, but to know what to do when you get to those spots. That's where my website separates itself from everything else out there. I explained to you how to fish every one of those 1,300 spots. I think that's incredible, gang. You do not have to suck at fishing anymore unless you want to. And that's your right. I understand your ego won't allow you to submit to taking all that crap off your line and just tying your hook straight to your Opsin fluorocarbon and throwing the bait in the water and catching a fish. You need to put the swivels and the beads and the daisy chains and all that garbage on there that'll keep those fish from biting. I understand that. But then after you do it wrong enough times and you're a member of the website, you're like, well, wait a minute. The community that we've built, you can't even believe. On the community, all the members are sharing exactly where they're catching, whatever they're catching, how they're catching it, what they're doing, and how simple it is when they follow the game plan and they don't leave a piece out. Anchoring on the spot, that's huge. That's gigantic. Because you got to think of the ocean as a giant desert. And then the spots are little oases in the middle of the desert. So if you don't anchor on the spot, if you're going to drift by the spot, every once in a while, you'll drift by a fish's house. You'll drift by the spot and you get a bite. And then another hour or two, you may drift by another. You could not. You might drift all day and never pass a fish's house. That's how deserty the ocean is. But if you start off on the spot that I send you to, but you decide to drift, the moment you start your drift, you're like, bite, 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 bite. Then you don't get a bite for hours and hours and hours because you didn't anchor. You drifted. That's one of the things that I'm talking about that are super important. Now, if you anchored on the spot and the wind was coming out of the northwest and you looked at your compass and you were laying 305 degrees and you were catching a fish every time you threw your line in the water. And it's important to look at everything. When you start getting bit, when you start catching fish on the anchor, look at which way you're laying. Look at the compass heading. Okay, we're laying. When I say laying, that means when the anchor hits the bottom, you set in your wheelhouse or you stand at your center console and you look at your compass and it says that you're heading 305 degrees. That means the wind's out of the northwest and the current's going downhill. That's win-win. All of a sudden, the boat's laying 210 degrees and you're not catching anymore. What's just happened? the wind switched. The wind shifted. The current's not stronger than the wind. There's a trickle of downhill current, but the wind's not strong enough to keep the boat laying at 305 degrees. So now it's laying out, the bow pointed out to sea at 210 degrees. What do I got to do? Now I have to pull the anchor. I know we were catching fish, but then all of a sudden we weren't. This is one of those things where everything matters. So now all of a sudden we got to pull the anchor, and now we're going to reset the anchor, but we're going to make sure the rock is somewhere off the back of the boat when we're laying at 210 degrees. So that's one of the many, many things that matters. That's super important to understand. It matters. And then another thing that could happen is the current stops completely. Could have a little trickle of current going downhill, no wind, the boat's laying 305 degrees, and then all of a sudden there's no current. And the boat's just sitting there nilly-willy, laying 210 degrees, bows pointed out to sea, sterns pointed straight in towards the beach. Well, there's no more current. That's why the fish quit biting. Now it's time to pull the anchor and go to another area where the current could be flowing. And that might be a mile away. I've seen it before where we're at the pipe in front of Dana Point Harbor and there's no current, and we move up a mile to Dana Point and the current is smoldering downhill. Everything matters, gang, and it's super important to make sure that everything you do is headed in the right direction to make sure that you're going to catch fish. So you want to make sure that every single thing is working in your favor. You don't want to leave any ingredient out. It's just like when Kelly girl makes me chocolate chip cookies. If she left the butter out and she put everything else in, the sugar, the flour, the chocolate chips, the eggs, she put everything else in, but she left out the butter. They taste terrible. Same thing when you go fishing. If you just leave out one ingredient, you didn't anchor on the spot proper, or you didn't pull the anchor and reset when a condition changed, or you didn't leave when there was no current and go find an area where there was current. All these things matter, gang. And why do some people catch fish every time they go and other people don't? Is because the guys that are catching it every time, they're not approaching this lazy. They are working their butts off to make sure they catch a fish. Just like, okay, we had Greg from the Aztec on a couple weeks ago, and we got it way deep into talking about changing your bait. That is a super important thing, to change your bait. I don't care if you're on a skiff fishing with me on my 22-foot Wellcraft, or if you're on a 90-foot Viking, or if you're on the Aztec. If you want to get a bite, you need to change your bait more than anybody else on the boat. And if you look at me, I'm changing my bait every 15 seconds. We all tell you, all the captains and all the crew tell you to change your bait every 60 seconds. Then you want to turn around, and you all do this. You go, oh, Captain Dave, my bait's still wiggling. I don't need to change it. My bait's still wiggling. It's like, what are you talking about? Gang, we just went over this. You need to change your bait every 50. If it's still wiggling, that's great. But do you want a wiggly bait or do you want a fish? I think most of you, when you go fishing, you'd like to catch a fish, not a wiggly bait. Why do you want to argue? Oh, it's still wiggling. I don't even give it a chance. I throw my bait out. Bait hits the water. If it's pulling line off the spool, he's a good bait. He's going to get a bite. If he doesn't, if he hits the water and he just lays there and I wind him back in and he's wiggling a little bit, he gets ripped off the hook, thrown in the water, and I get a new bait, period. End of story. There's only two baits, one that swims and one that doesn't swim. And if he doesn't swim, he doesn't get to play. He's off the payroll. He's on his way to Never Never Land, and I'm grabbing another bait out of the bait tank and I'm throwing it back out there. That's another thing that matters, gang. And just because when you bring your bait in, it looks lively to you, don't throw it back out there. It already didn't work once. Why do you want to give it a second chance to not work? Don't do that. Don't give your bait a second chance to not work. Get rid of that bait. Get a new bait out there right away. Get it in the water and get the whole thing rolling along. Don't leave an old, well, I'll calm down a little bit. I have a great saying that I use all the time. And it goes in it, and it's about changing your bait. And it is so important to understand that if you don't change your bait, you're not going to catch a fish. Change your bait, change your luck. Period. End of story. Change your bait, change your luck. If you're not getting a bite, change your bait. Period. Don't use the same bait over again. If I see people winding their bait and then recast it out, and I'm like, huh? The bait tank's full of bait. If you go on my boat or my skiff, we got so much bait. There's no reason to bring all the bait back to the dock. Change your bait, change your luck. That will help you out tremendously. Got the right hook, got the right line, got the right fluorocarbon, got the right braid, got a rod you can cast. That's super important. The day you get to go fishing should not be the day you practice your casting. If you can't cast a bait, a live bait with no weight on it, you need to get a spinning rod. East Coast, they live spinning. All the experts, everybody fishes spinning rods. I'm not going to tell you if spinning rods good, bad, or indifferent. It's what you can use. I personally barely know how to hold a spinning rod. I'm going to use a conventional rod. I'm going to use my jig stick. I'm going to use my 9-foot rod and my 9-foot PCH heavy rod. And I'm going to use my Tesoro reel filled with a 65-pound braid and a 20 or 30-pound piece of Opsin fluorocarbon on the end of it. That's what I'm going to use. I can cast that thing farther than you can cast your spinning rod. I promise you. But if you can't cast your conventional reel, you need to have a spinning rod. This is another thing that matters. Casting is super important. You have to be able to cast to where the fish are. You have to be able to cast to where the structure is. You have to be able to cast to where the seaweed is. Kelp, we call it. You got to be able to cast to where the tuna are boiling. All that stuff matters. That goes right into the thing that we talk about all the time, where everything matters. But if you're a member of my website and you get right to the edge, you get right to the place where I send you to go, but you don't fish the way I asked you to fish, I can't help you. All the spots that I have on my website are spots that I catch fish when I go to them. I don't give you spots that I don't catch fish. I've fished every spot on my website more than once. And what I tell you to do is exactly what works. I don't know what you and your sisters, brothers, aunts, cousin do. And I don't care, because I'm not going to my spot, or not my spot. I don't have a spot. I don't own the ocean. Nobody does. But I'm not sending you to the spots on my website and then wanting you to fish the way your sister fishes. You got to fish the way I fish. If you don't want to, then why are you on the website? I'm sorry. Why are you a member of the greatest fishing website ever made if you don't want to follow the simple recipe? One more thing I want to show you all real quick is what we got going on this month. And a lot of people have taken advantage of it. And for that, I thank you all very, very much. But look, $350 lifetime membership to the greatest fishing website ever made. It's a fishing website for fishermen made by a guy that's fished his whole life. My dad started fishing for a living in 1947. I didn't start until 74. I don't have as much time as he has, but I have a little bit of time on water. I have 4,100 members that are super happy. You can Google my name. I've been in this industry my whole life. You're going to have a rough time finding anything negative about us. But look at $350 for a lifetime membership to my website. My website costs $9.99 a month. My bundles, the hotspot bundle, that's $100. The game plans, that's $100. One time you purchase it, you never buy it again. Then the membership is $110 a year. We're giving all of that to you for $350. You'll never be billed again for the rest of your life. This is a great holiday gift. This is a great gift to give your friends or family, somebody in your family that likes to fish, that's tired of catching nothing. This is a great opportunity for them. People in your family that fish a lot, this is another great opportunity for them. Also, in the next few days, Elliot and I are going to come out with a special QR code that's going to give you a phenomenal discount to our swag. We have all kinds of clothes over at my Your Saltwater Guide, the store. We have shirts and hats and sweatshirts and stickers, and the shirts and the hats have the special sayings on them that I say all the time. I don't know anything. I don't know how much better I can make it for you, gang. I made you guys an app. We have the greatest fishing app ever made by a fisherman for fishermen. Gang, think about that. There's a lot of companies out there that have apps for fishing, but the people that made them never fished a day in their lives. You can't. It's so expensive to build an app. You want to know how much it costs to build an app like the one I have? You wouldn't believe it if I told you. Let's say $15,000 US to build the app. Let's say $10,000 US to maintain the app every year. That's my commitment to you, my members. I'm not asking you for some extra money. You're a member of the website. You get access to the app. You're a member of the website. You get access to all of that. Plus, on top of all that, you get to call me whenever you want. And I answer the phone. Or you can call Justin up there at Bowline Sportfishing in Long Beach. Or you can call Pablo down in San Diego. Or you can call Sonny up at the Channel Islands. We all answer the phones. We all answer the phones. Pablo, I'm going to have you on tomorrow, buddy. You're going to be a part of the show tomorrow because Justin's going to be on tomorrow. Justin's out hunting today. So tomorrow we're bringing both of you on. But thank you for checking in. I apologize. Dave, hope all is well. Can you send me the GPS hotspot sheets for Dana Point to Oceanside? Thanks. You can look at the website if you want to see them. Gang, I'm having a problem right now. I can't get on the comments. So if you're leaving some bitching comments, I can't see it. I don't know what's going on. I'll get my technical supporter on there and we'll figure it out. I think I need to reload this app because we got some technical difficulties happening with this. But gang, I want you all to understand I'm committed to making sure that you catch fish. I'm always been there for you. I used to do all the reports for a couple other websites. I used to be the #1 supplier of information for the other 2 websites in Southern California for fishing. But now we have our very own, yoursaltwaterguide.com. We've been in operation since 1974. The website's been live for 5 years. The app's been live. We launched it at the show last year. We got nothing but love from everybody about the app. The app's pretty clean. It works. I don't know. I haven't had anybody call me up and say, hey, you need to try this with your app or you need to do that with your app. My app works pretty dang good. I'm looking at it right now. It seems to be working really good. Rick, I just saw your post. Yep, we got you covered. If you look at Jason, if you go and you look at Jason and what he did, Jason Lawler, look at what he did. Just follow his plan. Go right where he tells you to. Send him a message. Call him. That's a part of our community. We chit-chat with each other. There's 0.0 negativity, not like other websites where it's straight sewage and dripping sarcasm and negativity. The only sarcastic person on this thing is me. But you already all know my sarcasm. My sarcasm's way out in front of me. Before you ever sign up, you already know the sarcasm. It's thick. But I don't allow anybody to get on the website and say any nasty stuff. Nobody's allowed to share any negative stuff. There's just straight sharing of really, really good information for everybody. I think you'll all be very impressed. If you want to give me a call, if you're afraid to enter your credit card into my website, feel free to give me a call at 949-374-0786. If you want to give this membership away as a gift to someone, lifetime membership to the greatest fishing website ever made, call me 949-374-0786. I will take care of you. We'll make sure whoever you're getting this gift for doesn't know until the day you want them to know. It's going to be a great holiday for all of you. We're going to get that swag thing going with the discount. If you don't want to wait for the discount, jump on my store and get them some shirts and hats and stickers for you and the children. We have sweatshirts, we have tank tops, we have hats, we have stickers, we have t-shirts, hoodies, we have everything. I got you covered. Whatever you want to use to go fishing with. And then at the PCS show, remember what we did last year? If you show up wearing one of my shirts or hats, instant free stuff. I have lots and lots of sponsors that supply us with lots of swag for the show. We'll be at the PCS show handing out free stuff to anybody that shows up wearing our gear. Gang, I want to thank you all today for making this show possible. I want to thank Opsin Fluorocarbon, and we got to give away. Hold on, let me look. We got to give away this bag of swag from Promar. Justin Wagner, you're the winner of the Promar grab bag. Yep. You just won. And then we do that every month on the first of the month. And I would have done it Friday, but I got too excited with Peter Grossbeck. But we'll do it again on January 1st, New Year's Day. We'll have a special show. We'll give away the Opsin Fluorocarbon gift package, and we'll give away the bag of swag from Promar Ahi USA. Doug and Justin, you both need to send me your addresses and shirt sizes, because in the bag of swag comes a shirt. So send that to me. Let me know. Gang, thank you all very, very much for watching the show. Thanks for all the likes and all the views on social media. Share. Please do me a big favor and share this with everybody, and share all my videos that you watch, all those funny videos, all those cool videos, all that great content that I put out every single day that entertains you. Please share it with your friends. Hit the subscribe button to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Subscribe, share, like, all that stuff you hear from all these other booger eaters all the time. I had no idea how important it was. I didn't want to be the guy that told you that all the time, but now we're at that point where I got to be the guy. Please share with everybody. Hit the like button, subscribe, follow us on all social media. I won't let you down. Jump on this lifetime membership thing. It's only going to be available till January 1st, and then the price of tea in China is going up dramatically, gang. We have proof of concept after 5 years. I think it's time. I think it's time for me to get paid what my information's worth, gang. Those of you that are already in at the $4.99, the $9.99, your prices will never go up. They'll always be the same. That was my commitment to you. But everybody else, $29.99. If you don't get in now, it's going to be $29.99 a month, and you're going to get in. And you're going to be bummed you didn't get in. You're already bummed that you didn't get in when it was $4.99. Right now, you can get in while it's $9.99. But just wait. Less than a month, it's going to be $29.99. Can you believe that? You got a chance right now. You got a chance for the lifetime membership. What am I saying? But you can also get in for the $9.99. Just trying to help y'all every day. Make sure that you catch more fish when you go fishing. Make sure that you understand what's going on out there on the water. And remember where you're getting your information from. Always stop and think. Do you really want to know what this person knows about fishing that works in an office every day, or works as a plumber or an electrician or a doctor or a lawyer? Why do you want to know what they know about fishing? Just remember that when you're starting to put a plan together to go catch fish. All right? I'm here for you every day, Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, plus the 3 videos that go out every day and our bitchin' picture that goes out every day. Let's get you on our website. Let's get you all catching this next year. Let's get everybody catching. You can't even believe, if you go to the website right now, look at the community and look at all the love that's being shared about lobsters, all the people that are catching lobsters day in and day out. It's amazing. They tell you exactly where they're catching their lobsters, how they caught them, what they did when they caught them. Don't you want that? I wish I had that when I was trying to learn how to do the hoop net thing for a living, but now you all got it. And don't listen to those people that tell you, oh, you should figure it out on your own like I had to. What? My goodness. Do you think Tom Petty didn't learn how to play the guitar from somebody? Do you think that pilot that flew the plane down here so me and Kelly could go to Cabo, do you think he figured it out on his own? Why do you want to figure out fishing on your own? Listen to the experts. Go out there, do it right. Go catch a bunch of fish, have fun. That way you don't sell your boat. People ask me all the time, Dave, why do you give away so much bitching information? Because we don't want you to sell your boat. We want you to stay in the game. I come from the world where we didn't share anything with anybody forever. Back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we didn't share with any of you anything. We didn't share a thing. We didn't want you to know what we were doing. Then all of a sudden we looked up in the 90s and they started closing giant chunks of the ocean and stopping us from fishing. And I'm like, what in the hell's going on? And then I'm like, oh my God, there's a bunch of people saying there's no fish. I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit. There's a bunch of people saying there's no fish out in the water. I'm like, damn it, Lasley, Grossbeck, Manzer, Miyagawa, you guys, we got to share our information. They're closing the ocean because they don't think there's any fish. It's our fault. So I started sharing information in the early 80s, and I started putting you on fish. And we keep that ball rolling and we keep that machine going because we do not want you to sell your boat. We do not want you to not be successful when you go fishing. Proof's in the pudding, gang. Google my name, your saltwater guide, or Dave Hansen, and see what I'm talking about. Go check out my website or just give me a call at 949-374-0786. I'll help you out tremendously. I'll give you a free look at the website and you can decide if it's worth it for you. I don't know how it gets any better unless I come to your house and sit down in front of you and just fill your pockets up with tackle and lures and stuff that you wouldn't know how to use anyway. It still wouldn't matter. You still got to watch the videos. All right, gang. Thank you very much for a great show, great day, everything that you all do for me. I appreciate it. I will see you all tomorrow. Hopefully we get this glitch fixed and I can see your comments. I know there was a lot of them today and I appreciate all of them. And we got a special guest on Friday, another IGFA Hall of Fame captain. I know most of you young people do not know who this man is, but he is an absolute walking legend. He is a living legend. He is the captain of the Bad Company operation that's doing that world tour with Anthony Shea. We have the great Steve Lasley joining us on our show on Friday. I don't want you all to miss that. It's going to be incredible. You have no idea who this man is until you listen to him. We're not going to get so much into the world tour. We're going to talk about all the other wonderful things that man has done for all of us. And he's always been there to help Captain Dave out whenever I needed help. He's a true gentleman, and I'm very blessed to have him on, just like I was very blessed to have Pete Grossbeck on. We're hitting you back-to-back with IGFA Hall of Fame captains. Can't be a bad thing. It's got to be a good thing. Think about that when you're thinking, I don't know, maybe I'll have the guy that's getting 4 views a year. I think I'll have him represent my tackle. All right.